welcome into KSL Sports Rewinds, our Bracketology video, as always presented by Heidemann and Associates. If you have any legal needs, the experts at Heidemann and Associates can take care of you, and they'll even give you a free consultation if you tell them Rewind sent you. All you got to do is give them a call, 801-472-7742. You can also visit them online at utah.law to learn more about the services that they can offer you. Jeff, first round of playoffs are through. We got second rounds, and that means we get to make picks. Are you excited?
Love it. I love it. Picks are the best. Let's get into it.
Picks are the best. We're going to start this video. We're going to do 1A, 2A, and 3A. Let's start in 1A. Now, Jeff, this is a more condensed tournament. Again, just has the first and and then we go right into quarterfinal rounds. Jeff, talk us through your picks game by game in your 1A bracket.
Yeah, so we'll start with that Beaver, the upper left game, Beaver and Enterprise. I like Beaver in this game. Spoiler alert, I like Beaver a lot. So I have Beaver beating Enterprise, but I have Milford beating Duchesne and Beaver beating Milford too. I like Beaver a whole lot. I think that Beaver is my favorite team in the 1A bracket. Flipping over to the other side, North Summit. I think that they get the best of North Severe, although I think that game might be a better game than a lot of people expect it to be. Kanab over Millard, and then North Summit over Kanab. Although I think Kanab could do it, but I just really, really want a rematch of my favorite game of the year, Dan. I got to see Beaver and North Summit once again. And this time, I think Beaver comes out on top. That's how I'm feeling about things in 1A.
Okay, hey, look, I don't blame you, Jeff. It's a 1A tournament that can be a little tricky. We're going to go through my picks, then we'll come back, we'll compare, we'll have some discussion here. But when we look at my 1A bracket, it's not, well, let's just get into it. I like Beaver over Enterprise as well. It was a shutout win for Beaver this regular season. I think they get the win. I'm actually going to go, I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick Duchesne over Milford. I think that Duchesne team is a little under the radar this year. I'll go with the Eagles to get the win over Milford. On the other side of my bracket, in the Battle of the North, I'll take North Summit over North Severe like you, and I also have Kanab over Millard. My semifinal on that side, I've got Kanab falling to North Summit. I think North Summit's really impressive, and I do have Beaver getting the win over Duchesne, which sets up the same thing, Jeff, a Beaver North Summit State Championship game. And look, this one was 5 overtimes in the regular season. Now, it was at Colville. Wonder this game's going to be played down south. Will be interesting to see how North Summit travels for that one. I think North Summit's going to be super excited. But you know what? I learned my lesson years ago. I had to take a pie in the face over it. I'm going to go with Beaver to get the win over North Summit. I love the boys in Colville. I really do. But once you take a pie in the face once, you just don't want to do it again. So I'm going Beaver like you, my 1A state champ.
Yeah, I think with Bo Wheatley and the way that offense can get going, it gets cold. You know, the playoff football, that's when defense comes to play, being able to move the chains. I like Beaver, although North Summit, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, right? We've seen them beat Beaver once already this year. They certainly are going to be in that game. And frankly, it's one of the games that if that were to happen, it's one of the games I'd be looking forward to the most, regardless of classification, because those two teams are so evenly matched.
And I don't want to say luck. I don't want to say fortunate. But remember, that was a 6-6 game. Beaver went up in the fourth quarter. And North Summit Smith had like that 54-yard touchdown run with like a minute to go to tie it up before that game went into all the extra periods. We talk about Bo Wheatley. I love Bo Wheatley. But North Summit has their own in Buck Sargent, the tight end. Extremely challenging matchup. A great blocker. They utilize him a lot in the air attack as well. It would be a fantastic 1A state championship game. North Summit hasn't lost a game all year. This would be the first one they would drop should they fall to Beaver in the 1A state championship. So there's our 1A bracket. You tell us what you think. Who's your pick for a 1A state champion? And Jeff, let's quickly move along to 2A because we got to get through a number of brackets in this video. Let's go to 2A. Jeff, talk us through your 2A bracket game by game.
Yeah, in 2A, it feels a little bit more. It feels a little bit more chalk to me. I think that San Juan in that game against Judge, San Juan, no surprise. San Juan is right where everybody expects them to be. I like them over Judge. The South Summit and Delta game, I think Delta. I think Delta has the edge. I think Delta is going to give San Juan a run for their money too. But ultimately, I've got my money on San Juan in that game. But I do think that Delta can hang. So I've got San Juan getting to the finals, then flipping over to the other side. I do have Emory over ALA, and I have South Severe over Summit Academy. I think South Severe and Emory, I'm excited for that game as well. I think Emory will be the favorite. I think that's the pick. I'm going to go with South Severe, though. There's something about it. I think that South Severe gets the win in that game, setting up a San Juan South Severe championship, and I got to go with the Broncos in the end.
Okay. Hey, that's interesting, Jeff. All right, my bracket, we'll dive into mine. I want to come back to a couple of yours. You had some interesting picks. I'm going San Juan in that quarterfinal game. The Broncos have been strong all year. I'm actually going to go South Summit over Delta. South Summit's won 3 in a row. Delta's lost 3 in a row. I just think they're coming in with different trajectories. I'm going to go with the Wildcats in that 4-5. On the other side of the bracket, I'm actually going to go with Summit Academy. The Bears have been super good this year. I think that they are prone and ready to upset the Rams. And then I am going to go with Emory in that 2-7 matchup. This would be the 8th win for Emory, which would be the most in a regular season since 1999 for Old Sparta. But I do think it ends there because I got Summit Academy, the 6th seed, posting a victory in the semifinal to advance to a state championship game. And then I'll take San Juan over the South Summit Wildcats. So San Juan and Summit Academy in my bracket. And teenage Dane would be very disappointed in adult Dane because I'm going to take the Broncos. I'll take San Juan to get the 2A state championship. Jeff,
so
I was intrigued when you talked about ability of Delta to hang with San Juan.
I think that Delta team, they've played really well. They have stumbled down the stretch, but I remember that Delta team for the first half of the year, they were good. I mean, they played a lot of really good football. I think they've had a little bit of time off, had a bye week now to regroup, recalibrate for the playoffs. I think Delta is good. I still think San Juan gets the win. Ultimately, I think San Juan wins it all. I think they're going to be the favorite, seemingly every year until something changes. But I do think that San Juan has shown maybe a little bit more vulnerability than we've seen in years past. I think that they will have to earn their way to a state championship this year. It's not going to be, blowouts all along the way for San Juan. Okay.
Well, it'll be interesting. That I do think San Juan's a prohibitive favorite. We did have it clarified. LCA, we talked about in our bracket release show. We weren't quite certain why we didn't see them. It was an F1 issue. So, again, a lot of visa students, not eligible for the postseason, but still the region champ. So congratulations. A great year for LCA, but not participating in the 2A state tournament. So that's why we did not see them in our bracketology. All right, Jeff, let's move to our 3A bracket. And like we've done with the first two, we'll have you talk us through your 3A bracket game by game.
Yeah, on the 3A side, I don't know how you can't look at Morgan and just automatically pencil them in to the finals game. I mean, they've just been so good all year. So I've got Morgan over Canyon View. I do like Manti over Juab, and Manti, they've beaten Morgan before. They haven't beaten Morgan this year. Morgan's on a completely different level, but that game does have a little bit more intrigue. But I do think that Morgan gets past Manti. Then on the other side of the bracket, I've got Richfield over Juan Diego. And then this Grantsville-Ogden game maybe has the potential to be the best game in the 3A playoffs. I think that game's going to be close. I think Ogden is hungry. They want to go out and win for Coach Thompson. We were just there. I love that story. We've talked about it all year, Coach Thompson and his battle, the way that team has rallied around him. I've got Ogden over Grantsville this time. I do think they fall to Richfield in the semifinals, and then it sets up that state championship matchup that we've all wanted all year long. Morgan and Richfield. I'm going with the Trojans, but Gage Yardley and Richfield are going to make that a closer game than Morgan has seen all year. I do think Morgan gets the win in the end, but I do think that will be a really fun 3A state championship game.
Oh, interesting, Jeff. Well, there's a couple different ways this one could go. I do think, to your point, we've said all year, Morgan, Richfield, the two best teams, if they can get there to a state championship. Let's have a look at my bracket. We'll start similar to you. I think Morgan over Canyon View. Not going to push back at that one a ton. I think Morgan just that good. Manti Juab, they played in Week 10. Juab got the win. Brock Richards ran for 4 touchdowns in that win for Juab. The defense really stood up. Can they do it back-to-back games against Manti? I don't know. I was going to take Manti in this one. You took him, so I'll go Juab. I'll take the Wasps for the sake of differentiation. I think that's 3 for 3 for Dane, picking 5 seeds over 4 seeds. That's got to bode well. On the other side of the bracket for me, I agree. I think Richfield is that good. I think they'll get the win over Juan Diego. And that Grantsville-Ogden game is really interesting to me. We just saw Ogden, so this might be recency bias, but their ability to run the football, I love the dynamics they have on offense. They can throw it too. I think they got to be careful they don't fall in love with one side of their offense over the other. But that Grantsville team is physical. I think the great year for Ogden, and was been a fantastic year for Coach Thompson. And seeing what he's built there at Ogden, I do think it probably comes to an end on the road. I'll take Grantsville to get the win over Ogden in that semifinal. Richfield, Grantsville. I'm going to go with Richfield. I think Richfield's been a sleeper team all year long. We've talked about that. And then I'll take Morgan to get the win over Juab. So it does set up Morgan and Richfield in my state tournament as well. And I kind of said early, Jeff, if there was a team that I thought, after Morgan got some of their early wins, if there was a team that could beat Morgan, I thought it could be Richfield. I think Richfield has some closer games, some closer battles. I think that might make them more tested. Should this game be close? I think Morgan, if they jump out early, Morgan runs away with this one. But if Richfield can keep this close and introduce a little bit of doubt in the Morgan Trojans, can Morgan make enough plays late? And do they have the stamina? Because Morgan, they've only had to play, 2-3 quarters all year long. I'm kidding, Morgan. But they have been in blowouts. And they've been in blowouts against really good teams. This team is that good. We talk about how good this defense is. I really want to be different than you and say Richfield, because I've kind of been the Richfield underdog touter all year long. I just don't know if I can go against Morgan. This defense has been that legit. 7 or 8 shutouts this year. It has been that good for Morgan. But we can't go the same on every game, Jeff, right? We gotta be different somewhere. I'll take my underdog Richfield Wildcats to slow down Morgan enough for Fountain in that offense to get some points. This would have to be low scoring for Richfield to get a win. It's got to be in the 24, 21 kind of world. Morgan gets to 28 points in this one, and they're your 3A state champs. I'll go with the upset in the championship for Richfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, and I agree with you. Richfield, if they can keep it low scoring, it will be one of those games that the longer it goes on, if Richfield is still hanging around, then Richfield is going to feel a lot of confidence, and that's going to grow. Morgan has been very good defensively. They've been extremely good offensively. They're scoring 40-plus just about every week. The one caveat is this will be down south. I mean, so this is a drive for Morgan. That is different. It's not prohibitive, but it's different. It's a new challenge that Morgan really hasn't had to face a ton of yet this year. I do like Morgan in the end. I like that game. We've talked about this game since I think week 4 or 5, Dane. The possibility, Morgan and Richfield, it's going to be a ton of fun if that is what happens.
I'm just looking at this, Jeff, and Morgan is averaging 51 points a game, and they're averaging about 4. I really don't like what you've done to me in this bracketology. I'm filing for an official protest.
That's fine.
But
that's fine. But I don't think,
team's really good too.
Morgan will. Yeah, you can file for a protest, Dane. I don't know that Morgan's going to honor that. I think they're going to deny that appeal really quickly. But you can file it if you'd like.
I still love you. I still love you, Morgan. I just, Jeff, we got to be different somewhere. There you go. There are picks for state champions, 1A, 2A, 3A. Let us know if you have any comments. Who's your pick to win a state championship in 1A, 2A, 3A? Hit us up in the comments. Be nice. but let us know your thoughts and see if you can do better than Jeff and I did picking state champions here on KSL Sports Rewind. Watch out for our other bracketology videos. We'll have picks coming in 4A and in 5A and in 6A as well. And a reminder, you can catch all these state championship games and playoff games leading up to your state championships only on KSLSports.com. For Vince Francis, Jeff Hansen, my name is Dane Stewart. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on KSL Sports Rewind.